The Bucks take on the Cards for a 4 o'clock Eastern start in Arizona. Welcome to the show. I'm Brock Page, and apparently I'm full of myself and not a genuine prognosticator, or whatever that word is. Anyway, the books opened this one up as a pick'em contest with the total at 44.5. Since the betting opened up, however, we've seen a majority of that money come pouring in on the Bucks to get the job done. Right now, Tampa's laying 1.5 against the spread, with the total moving upward to 45.5 points. Currently, the Bucks are the $1.20 favorites on the money line to win it, and at the moment, just 45% of the public money's on the Cards. Now, if you're betting sides in this one, you might want to be careful of these Arizona Cardinals. They are what the experts would determine a foreclosure team. The Cards are a winless 0-5 against the spread overall. That's right, 5 games, no covers. They're also 0-2 covering at home and 0-2 as the underdog or pick'em. The 2-3 Cardinals have failed to cover over the likes of San Fran and Indy, just to name a few. They're going up against a Tampa team who's 1-1 against the spread as the favorite. That cover actually came against the Chicago Bears, who actually have been an exceptional covering team thus far. In addition to all that, Tampa Bay against the number is also 1-0 versus teams, allowing 21 to 25 points per contest. I'm leaning towards the Bucks in this spot here. Could be a close one, so I'm going to buy it down with a purchase of the hook. I have no speculation on the closing numbers because, to be honest, I think we're pretty much at around where they're going to close at. We also pretty much have ourselves a 50-50 even distribution of the public and sharp funds. All in all, I like Tampa Bay -1 and to win it outright for some money line cash. And if you're betting totals in this one, most of the early actions come pouring in on the over in this one. We opened at 44.5, and we are now sitting, at 45.5. Typically, if you watch my videos in the past, I don't normally burp, and I'm almost always in disagreement with the public money, and this game is no exception. Cardinals games are 4-0 to the unders in their last 4. They're also scoring just 14 points in those contests. They're facing a Tampa team whose last game went under the total themselves. In addition to that, 2 out of the Bucks' last 4 games went under the closing number as well. Tampa Bay scoring just 18 points a game in their last 3. All told, I'm in full agreement with the bettors when it comes to picking sides, but fully disagree when it comes to the total. Once again, I'm leaning toward Tampa -1 and winning it outright with the under 45.5. Next game I have for you, it is going to be LA Rams at Jacksonville. Once again, Vegas opened another one up as a pick'em contest in the books. Total opened at an even 44. Since the betting opened up, however, we've seen a steady amount of public money come pouring in on the Jacksonville Jags to get the job done. They're now the 2.5-point favorites, with the total moving downward to an even 42. Currently, the Jags are the $1.40 money line favorites to win it outright, and at the moment, just 47% of the betting public has action on Los Angeles. Number-wise, I think this current number is where we're going to close at, so I don't really foresee any drastic movement of the lines football-wise. Of course, you never know where the sharp money is going to pour in, nor do we know how much of it. So I don't know. I really don't know what side the number will move toward, if it does even at all. That said, if you're betting sides and you like Jacksonville, I'm going to tend to agree with you there. They've covered 3 of 5 overall in 2 of their last 3. Jacksonville has also garnered themselves outright wins and covers over the likes of Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Houston. They got themselves a Rams squad who struggled against the number thus far in the year. The LA Rams have covered just 2 of 5 overall and failed to cover in 3 of their last 4. Those failures to cover came at the hands of San Fran, Washington, and a struggling Seattle ball club, respectively. All said and done, I'm feeling like my true recreational betting self on this one. I'm buying the hook and taking Jacksonville -2 and winning it outright at home for some money line cash. And when it comes to scoring, I'm obviously in full disagreement with the money there as well because, well, that's what I do. I can never seem to agree where the money's going when it comes to totals. And in this particular situation, here's why. Jacksonville is 3-0 to the overs in their previous 3 games before last week's action at Pittsburgh. They've averaged 31 points of scoring in those contests. Meanwhile, very similar story on the other side, as Rams games are in fact 4-1 to the overs through week 5 themselves. Now, before last week's loss against the Seahawks, LA averaged 36 points of scoring per game. Folks, this has all the makings of another shootout, if you ask me. But to be honest with you, I don't know diddly, whatever that means. So all told, now I'm leaning toward the Jags -2 and winning it outright with the over 42 in this one. Next contest, Pittsburgh at Kansas City. Nice little rematch of last year's AFC divisional round. The Chiefs opened this one up as the 3.5-point favorites with the total at an even 47. Since the betting opened up, as expected, most of that early money came pouring in on the Chiefs to get the job done. Kansas City is now -4 against the spread with the total moving upward to a cool 47.5. Currently, KC's the 2-1 moneyline favorites to win it outright. And at the moment, just 34% of the money is on Pittsburgh. So if you're a Steelers bettor in this one, you might just want to wait a little bit longer to book your bets so you can catch a few more points. I think this one could easily close at 4.5 to 5 points by kickoff. All right, so you've heard it before and you'll hear it again. Good teams win, great teams cover. And nothing has been more true of that than these Kansas City Chiefs. Now, depending on where you're shopping, this Kansas City team is a perfect 5-0 covering against the spread overall. The Chiefs against the points are 2-0 at home, 4-0 as the favorite, and 2-0 as the official home favorite. In addition to all that, KC's 2-0 covering against teams over 500 and 2-0 covering against teams allowing less than 21 points a game. The Chiefs have garnered themselves marquee covers over the likes of New England, Philly, and Washington, just to, name a few. They're going up against a visibly imploding Pittsburgh locker room who's covered just 2 of 5 overall and just 1 of 3 on the road. The Steelers have failed to cover in 2 of their last 3. And season long, failed to cover against the likes of Cleveland, Chicago, and Jacksonville. All said and done, I got to ride with the chalk in this one. And to be honest, I'm pretty surprised the number isn't larger at this point of the betting week. It opened up at 3.5 and is now at just 4. Seems like a pretty easy decision for a dopey public side bettor such as myself. But self-loathing aside, if you're betting totals in this game, we've seen ourselves a lot of unders in these Pittsburgh games. Steelers games are a perfect 5-0 to the unders on the year. In addition to that, Pittsburgh's road games are averaging just 38 total combined points per contest. More recently, the Steelers themselves are averaging just 17 points a game in their last 3. Once again, I have myself an instance of going against the money when it comes to the total. I just can't help myself. All told, I really think if you're betting the Kansas City side, you just need to lock up that pick as soon as you can. I don't see the points going in your favor here on out. And if you're a Pittsburgh bettor, you're probably not going to end up catching 6 to 7 points in this one. So realistically, if you book now, you wouldn't be committing wagering suicide either. Having said all that, I'm leaning toward Kansas City, laying the 4 and winning it outright with the under 47.5. Next and final game for the show, it's actually the Sunday night game since we still have no lines for the Monday night action, and we probably won't. But I'm talking about the winless New York Football Giants traveling to Denver. As expected, the Broncos opened as the heavy money, the heavy favorites in this matchup. The betting opened up with Denver as the 9-point favorites against the spread with the total at an even 41. Since the betting opened up, no surprises here as the public monies come pouring in on Denver to get the job done. Right now, the Broncos are laying 11.5 points against the spread with the total moving downward to a cool 39. Currently, the Broncos are the 6-1 moneyline favorites to win it outright. And at the moment, just 37% of the action thinks the G-Men will cover. When it's all said and done, I think we'll probably end up with a closing number of 13 to 13.5 points against the spread. If you're betting the Denver side, you've waited too long. And if you're leaning toward the New York side, well, time is certainly on your side. The trends, however, are not. New York's coverage is 2 of 5 overall and just 1 of 3 versus teams over 500. The winless Giants have failed to cover over the likes of Tampa Bay and the Chargers, just to name a few. They're going up against the Denver squad, who, depending on where you're shopping at, is 3-1 against the spread overall. Even better, the Broncos against the spread are 3-0 at home and 2-1 as the favorite. In addition to going 2-0 covering as the official home favorite, the Broncos have marquee covers over the likes of Dallas and Oakland, just to name a few. That was when Oakland was good, by the way. All in all, I see where the public bettors are coming from, and I'm going to have to agree with their generic recreational betting asses. I'm leaning toward Denver despite laying double digits in this one. And total-wise, will I disagree with the betting public once more? Well, I think I have to. Despite the Giants' receiving core becoming absolutely decimated, I think the lines accompanied by the public action will adjust accordingly to make these Giants trends still applicable for your wagering. And it still doesn't change the fact that their defense just loves to give up points. Giants games are 3-0 to the overs in their last 3, with the D giving up 26 points a game in those contests. And when it comes to Denver games, we've seen very similar trends. Broncos games are 3-0 to the overs themselves before last week's action at Oakland. In those games, Denver's averaging 27 points of scoring per contest. All told, if you're an over better in this one, that line's only going to continue to drop. So I wouldn't be in a huge hurry to get that action. And if you're an under better in this one, I'm in full disagreement with you. I'm buying the hook and leaning toward Denver minus 11 and winning it outright with the over 39 in this one. All right, folks, that is going to do it for me. But before I get out of here, I have to remind you that I am not a sports betting expert, nor do I implore you to take any of my picks. Yeah, a wise man once said, good ain't free and free ain't good. For some reason, you decide to, use the free information on this program. I forget my line. You're utilizing it at your own discretion. Most importantly, if you're betting any of these games, do it safe, do it responsibly, and most important, have fun. For Brock Page Productions, I'm Brock Page, and have yourself a positive day.